Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm just Terrell. You ever been out somewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Yeah, well, we are those people. We've been having these conversations since college.
Yep, it's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts podcast, Somebody's Son, Season 1, Episode 6 recap. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, and leave a review.
Um, we are what, 6 episodes into this show now, right?
Yep.
How you feeling about it? Still thinking it's the best one for on OWN so far?
Caliber of the cast, haven't changed my opinion on that, but the low budget things are starting to pop up.
Why you say that?
I'm just saying, we're seeing a lot of people have dates in the backyard and they can't even leave the house.
It's not like they're on house arrest or anything.
That's what it seems like. They can't leave. I don't understand that. But I'm seeing some low budget opportunities here.
That's because they spent the money on the house. Except for Joshua's house because he didn't have a doorbell.
Yeah, but I think Josh using his own money. He's like, yeah, we're not going in the backyard. We going out.
We going outside. The one thing I wish that they would have done was given them, I know we've said this before, but given them different activities, right? And I think you even said that maybe if they found something that the guy likes to do and they do that activity as opposed to, here's the cookie cutter. Because take, for instance, this one, we know only 2 of the houses did this exercise, which tells me next week we know what's going to be on the episode.
Right.
Chad's going to have to do that exercise, and we're going to have to sit through that instead of just do it. If you're going to do all 3 with the same thing, do it all on the same episode because we don't need to see it. Like the photo thing. We didn't need to see the photo 3 times over 2 episodes.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah. 100%.
But whatever.
There's only been one activity date. That was paintball. So they left the house to go do paintball. That was the only activity date. And everything else has been at the house.
They've had it the most because you're right. Because everybody else was just on their first date. Because that was 2. Yeah. Because now, this is their 3rd date.
Yeah.
Everybody else is now just going to be going to their first and second date. So it's actually kind of The timeline ain't timelining. It feels like a Marvel movie right now with all these multiverses. As we go to each house, is a different multiverse. Okay, that's what's happening in this universe. So feels a little weird. But let's get to this one, man, because we pick up and let's cover everything from one and then we'll go to the other, right? We start with James and Charlize over there. With we get to see them sitting down and James telling his mom, Charlize, all about the date he had in the backyard
with Alicia.
Yes.
Yeah. He really likes Alicia. You could totally tell. He said he wanted to kiss her, but he's trying to be good. To me, Charlize doesn't like Alicia. I think that's what it boils down to.
Is it because she said, what red-blooded man wouldn't feel a spark when you have everything hanging out?
She didn't have everything hanging out. Not like some of these other girls we've seen. She didn't have everything hanging out. She just looks, she's a baddie. It is what it is.
Wait, did you just use the word?
I'm just trying to relate. I'm trying to use some slang to relate to you. You live in that hip hop world. I'm learning stuff. Baddies, what a bag is. We'll talk about all that.
But you know how much I despise when people say that. The whole I'm a baddie. Yeah, God Almighty, grow up, Jesus. You're older. Use a bigger word. Adding DIE to the word doesn't make it a bigger word.
That's Lexi that likes the big words.
Cassie says, not me actually catching a live. Haven't been live crew since the last season of Love is Blind. Dang.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm glad you caught this one. Thank you.
Goodness.
Hey, do us a favor, everybody that's coming in right now. Appreciate you, of course. Hit that like button if you're not subscribed. Please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. We're not going to be like the tablet and ask everybody to remove their makeup when you come in. Because this is what'd you think of this Bear It All challenge? Did you like this?
I mean, I like it because I would want to know what someone looks like without makeup. I do think it's a big deal because not only that they're having to take their makeup off in front of Josh and James, but they're having to do it in front of America, the world, on national TV. That's a lot to put yourself out there.
Here's where I think, because you saw some resistance from some of the women, right? And I understand why. Not because I know what it's like to put on makeup, but I know it didn't take them 5 minutes. The 5 minutes it took them to take it off, it's not how long it took to put it on. Lisa says, I liked it. Take the wigs off too. Whoa.
And the extensions out. Let's see what we're really working with.
Hey, what y'all doing? Sean says they all look good without it, though. I know the camera wasn't too close up.
They did. I think there wasn't anybody where I was like, oh my God, without makeup. But I still think they could have did the exercise about monthly expenses without having to do the whole take the makeup off thing. I just thought that was a little extra.
Okay, was it just a test to see if they would do it? Because if somebody decided not to, did you think they were banking on somebody going, oh no, I'm not doing that. I just spent 45 minutes getting this ready to come down here. I'm not taking this off.
Not everybody can be naturally pretty.
It's funny because when Sabra walked out, right, she looked the same. And
yeah.
She just looked like she just went and washed her face and that's it. Like, okay, that's it. Because it's not like she took a ton of makeup off.
Right.
She's right. Naturally pretty. She is naturally pretty.
She is, 100%.
Alicia seemed to take a little offense to it when she said it. Or at least by the editing, that's what they did. But yeah.
Well, I mean, Alicia's still beautiful without makeup. But I think she does look different.
She looks like
it's a different look.
If I saw her with makeup, then I saw her without makeup, I'm like, where'd your sister go? and that's not a bad thing. She looks good without it, but she looks different.
Very much so.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Right?
Yeah.
So, Baby Doll says, shout out to Sabra, a natural beauty. Yes, she really is. Mayan says they should be happy without makeup. I am just lipstick. Yeah, and it's funny because if you start asking guys and say, oh yeah, I want a woman without a lot of makeup, until they see the woman with a lot of makeup and not a lot of clothes, they're like, yes, but her right there. Because guys do that.
No. I've always, even in college, I thought about that because they look good when they're out and about. You're at the bar, you're at the club, but then you stay the night, they wake up, you roll over and you like jump back.
Who is you?
I have seen some people night and day difference without makeup. I'm like, no, this is not gonna work.
So you're like, not on my pillow. You are not leaving your face on my pillow. I just washed these yesterday, damn it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna go in the bathroom and wash my face. Could you not? Just leave it.
Now I gotta go. I gotta go clean out my sink. I always hated kissing somebody, and then all of a sudden you got makeup on your face. You're like, wait a minute, I didn't put any foundation on today. So good exercise, right? But then they get to the next exercise, which is the beauty tally, right?
Yeah.
What do you take? How much do you spend to take care of yourself monthly? And Charlize wants to know the real, like bikini wax, Brazilian, all of that, throw it in. And I think she did that on purpose because I think she wanted somebody to go, oh yeah, definitely put that down.
she's nudging. James.
Alicia said $1,205. What'd you think of that number?
A lot. Like, I wonder, like, ladies, does it really cost that much? I mean, $1,200, that's a car note. That could be a mortgage. That could be rent. That's a lot of money a month to spend. For somebody that has a couple part-time jobs and does bottle service at night, that's a lot of money she's spending.
You don't know what them tips are like. Lisa says their monthly self-care expenses are more than my mortgage, and I live in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Now, it's funny because at $1,205, Alicia said, even Charlize is like, that's a lot of money for a 25-year-old. And I have to ask, why did Alicia think that she was going to be the lowest?
Because after she has the night and day difference without makeup, he thought she was...
Immediately, I knew that, because here's the thing. And she said she was she doesn't wear makeup 90% of the time. We can't tell because we see her most of the time on screen, right? But we've seen her in a confessional without makeup. Like we know, that she's not wearing makeup. And again, it's not that she's not attractive. She is, but she does look different. I just knew that she was going to be the most expensive out of these three. There wasn't even a question about it for me, right?
Yeah.
And she was, because next up was Sabra, and she had 1,040. And I thought about this as I wrote these down, and I kept moving, and I came back and said, what the hell did she spend $1,000 on? Because she, as she pointed out, naturally pretty.
Yeah. Well, massages.
Oh, okay.
Nails.
Okay.
All those. I mean, that can add up. I
Both
get it.
sets of nails, right? Mani-pedi?
Well, I'm assuming you're getting both. I don't know how often women in the chat, how often do you get your nails mani-pedis? Is that a weekly? Is that a bi-weekly?
Bi-weekly.
Yeah, I do a pedi like once every couple months. Mm-hmm. So it's not that expensive for me. But if you're going weekly, I can see how it could add up.
Then you had Bravon struggling on this show. And she said, look, $10. That's what I do twice a month. So what's the total? I know you can add. It's $20, ma'am. Do we believe
That's I don't believe that all she spends is $20 because you're not making your own makeup. Mm-hmm. You're not making your own hair care products. You might do your hair yourself, but you're not making, pink luster oil in your bathtub.
She might be. You don't know.
You're doing something. So I think she spends more than $20.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, Lisa says bi-weekly. You did ask how often, ladies, do you go get nails? And then Baby Doll says every 2 weeks for nails is reasonable, in my opinion. Okay. Kendra says hair, nails, massages are expensive every month. Miss Sophie says, I don't think those things are every month. But that's kind of what they...
That's what they said.
That's what they said. And some things... and nobody's believing Bravon, of course,
right.
on this one, right? Because that $20 seems a little bit more. Even Miss Sophie says no. She spends more than $20.
Yeah.
Bravon is a sad case. Go home, Roger. Damn. Yeah. Hair products expensive, and I think one person believes. Kristen says, I believe $20.
I don't think she does.
No, and I don't think she counted everything because, and I get it, because she is investing her money, buying properties and all this. But yeah, I don't think it's that much. Kendra says all cap. Yeah, I don't believe that. I know you felt vindicated when she asked, Charlize asked, okay, so do you expect to take care of all of this? And Alicia, who had the highest budget in this house, said, hey, I'm looking for a man who's financially stable and not stingy, which, lucky for her, that is James's love language, right?
Well, possibly James's love language, but I called it from the beginning that Alicia is out looking for a dude that has some money, because that way she doesn't have to do that bottle service at night anymore. And these expenses that she has, she's going to need somebody to pay for that. Mm-hmm. So that's what she wants. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with wanting what you want. Okay. I would not be with somebody to do that.
Okay. See, here, you're going to make me defend this woman again. She said she's looking for a man who's financially stable. Which woman in the chat is looking for a man that is financially unstable? Anyone want to raise their hand? Anyone?
Anybody want to fix her upper?
Anybody wants a stingy ass man with his money? Anyone? No. So why y'all coming at her for that? Come on, man. Stop. Just every woman, when they talk, what are you looking for in a man? Tall, 6'5", this and that. Oh yeah, and financially stable. Every woman is saying that stuff.
Of course, they're all saying that stuff, and it makes sense. But what she is wanting is to say, you know what? I want a man that's going to be willing to pay for these things for me and to take care of me. And there are some good guys who would do it. Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is Terrell couldn't be a guy who does that in a relationship, because I just think your expenses, you cover that yourself.
Wait a minute. You're not saying you have to cover the whole $1,200, right? But Okay, she's going to get massage. She has the yoga. You're not paying for the yoga?
No.
Okay, what about massages? You're not paying for okay, no, let's go with something even just leave mani-pedi twice a month. You're not paying for that?
No.
Why?
So here's
why stingy man?
I'm not stingy. Here's my view on it. If I get married.
That was a very heavy if just now, but go ahead.
If I get married, my goal would be that my money would cover all bills. So mortgage, car notes, insurance, utilities, bills. And then I'm going to have some left over. And so I could, get my weekly haircut. That's $50. But her money would go to all these other things. So if she's not having to pay for mortgage, car note, insurance, any of that type of stuff, I think she should pay for her own mani-pedis and massages. If I'm putting out $5,000 a month in bills and she's putting $1,205 in self-care, and that's it, she's winning.
Mayan says, lady liberation, so the man not paying. CJ says, most of us don't budget for upkeep. Beauty has no boundaries, pain or financial. Yeah. So what about groceries? Because I didn't hear you list groceries in there.
Groceries is not a bill. Groceries is not really a bill. You can budget for groceries, and depending on how she eats, I eat, and she doesn't have any kids, I'm not worried about the grocery budget. I think we'd be fine. I could probably make it on $100 a week, so I can cover that.
Kessie says, not even the mani-pedi, Terrell?
If I'm covering everything else, why would I pay for the mani-pedi? If I'm covered, you pay no bill.
Fierce Fashion says, what if she didn't have a job?
No, wouldn't be with her. Gotta have a job if you want to be with me.
Elsie Charm might take back this question. Can you marry me?
Do you have a job?
Baby Doll says it's not my man's job to pay for my upkeep. May not be his job, but he can still. Come on, man. Nothing?
It's not his job. It all depends on how y'all have the situation. If he's doing it the way I described it, I think what I described is fair.
You can treat me, but he's not obligated to do it. Exactly. There you go. But
Thank you.
That's not what Terrell ain't trying to do it at all. You heard him say no. By the way, Anitra, YouTube channel member Anitra says, I'm celebrating 25 years of marriage. My husband pays for all the bills and groceries, because that is a bill, Terrell.
I said I could probably get that if it's just two of us and no kids. Yeah. Now she has kids that come to the if she has kids. No. If she has kids, she needs to buy groceries. I didn't make those mouths to feed. That was you. And
that's what the child support's for.
Yeah, you got child support coming in, and I'm paying all the bills. You got child support check. That's groceries. But if it's just the two of us, I can cover the groceries.
Yeah, I'm paying for shelter. Once you get under the roof, you're on your own.
You bring them three crumb snatchers in the house. No.
Hey, Anitra also said, I pay for my upkeep and contribute towards vacations. I like that, because you're saving some money in there, right? So, okay.
Yes. Perfect.
Sean just wants to look out for his frat. Says, that sounds reasonable, Terrell. True indeed. I understand what you're saying. Stop lying.
Thanks, frat. Yeah, he gets it. He gets it.
Let's see. Cassie says, I agree with Terrell. Yanni, read it in your head so we don't clip you. Here's the thing. I'm not the one that's worried about saying he's right. He's the one that hates when I'm right. And it's not just on here. Trust me. When the camera's off and it's just me and him, he hates it when I'm right.
No.
I can't stand it.
I just hate your attitude of how you conduct yourself when you are right.
What? By just telling you I'm right?
No, you just don't go, I'm right, and you leave it at that. You don't. What do you say? Nope, I told you I was right. I'm always right. You got to learn. You got to talk some shit. So
yeah,
that's the difference.
I mean, sometimes you got to sometimes you got to pop off and show it. Elsie's Charmed answered your question too. Said, no, I don't have a job. I have retirement pension and own a business. She ain't got a job. She the boss.
Isn't owning a business still a job?
I mean, it depends on how you look at it.
You got to do some work. and you're getting paid for it. But I get it. You know, yeah, she has a career. She has a business that she owns. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. Mm-hmm. How many kids though? Because I told you heard my stance on kids.
They're grown.
Yeah, but if they're grown and gone. Yeah, how often they visit? When they come, you're gonna buy the food for the house.
Fierce Fashion says such a Scorpio. And CJ says, LC, you'll be paying for Terrell's pedicure.
Hey, but I go like once every couple months. Inexpensive.
Not as expensive. So James actually gets to pick, right? The guys get to pick on this date, pick who they want to go on a date with. And were you surprised when he picked Sabra?
No, because he hasn't gone on a date with her. So to me, it made sense.
Right. We kind of knew that. So
yeah.
Were they still at the crib for this spa date?
Yeah, their spa day was in the backyard.
I was watching. It's like, man, that place looks eerily familiar. But okay, I'm just gonna assume they're at a spa because I like how the camera went down for the low angle up above the candles, and I'm like, yeah. It looks spy.
Yeah, no, I don't understand what's going on with the budget for James's situation, but this is ridiculous. They can go do paintball outside, but everything else has to be in the backyard. Makes no sense.
It's nuts. What do you think of their conversation after though? Because I mean, Sabra was like, "Hey, here I am, laying naked on a table next to this man." Well, she said some other things, but we I don't want to be clipped. And my parents are gonna kill me. But then they have a conversation after. They're sitting there in their robes. Yeah. What'd you think of their combo after?
I thought it was a good conversation, and what was interesting is when she said, what does he look for in a relationship? And James said, first and foremost, he's looking for someone who has a relationship with God. Unless Alicia, then I'll let it slide. I'll pray for both of us.
Baby, you rest.
You just keep looking good.
And ask for forgiveness. Sabra also said that James has all the qualities that she's looking for in a man. That's what she told us. She didn't tell him that. Yeah. So she seems happy with him, right?
I think it's the champagne because she gets a little bubbles in her, and it's a total different Sabra. She was flirty. Remember, she had some of the icing from the cake on her sleeve, and she said, "I'm sorry, I can't have you come over here and lick it off." I was like, Sabra, all right now.
Well, see, that's because she was playing that innocent girl role in front of his mama.
Right.
What say? It's always the innocent playing ones. They're always the innocent looking ones. That's why he was shocked.
She has that PK vibe, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Remember them pretty PKs you see at church, then you see them out in the club, and you're like, oh, you different.
Just don't tell Pastor.
Yeah. I don't normally do this, but
well, obviously it worked because now James is looking at her differently. He said he finally got that spice he was looking for from Sabra, which I don't know how I feel about that comment because it feels like he's looking. That's why he likes Alicia. He's like, oh, she's got this spice. I want this. He wants the outgoing, constant go. But I think it's like something about that statement just irked me. Like she has to be flirty with you in order for you to think, oh, yeah, she's got another side to her.
No, what he doesn't want is just boring, right? Like you think of the old mobster movies, right? They married a woman that was going to be the mother of their kids, but then they had girlfriends because the mother of kids didn't have the appeal, the look, the spice that the mistresses had. So he's a good church-going boy once every other month or two.
Right.
He doesn't want just a really nice, innocent, sweet girl. He wants that, but he also wants something that has a little spice to him. I see nothing wrong with that.
Okay, I get it. I guess. By the way, Kessie says, spa. But make it like Mother's Day when you're little and can't afford to take her out. That's their day.
It's like when you're a kid, you make your mom breakfast in bed and it's some whack toast.
Oh, burn.
Poorly seasoned scrambled eggs on the paper plate.
Oh my God. Hey, appreciate everybody that's in here right now with you, part of the live crew, or you're watching this later, part of the replay gang. Do us a favor, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. And before we roll on to the next house, the one without a doorbell, a couple things that popped up here. Little Homebody says, Terrell is my kind of guy. If you're ever single again, I'm in my 40s.
Well, that's in my range.
Well, it depends. Okay. Upper or lower 40s?
No. Within 10.
It's a
within
10. Oh, yeah.
Years.
So it
yeah, I'm 50.
Okay,
so
right the range. Okay, there you go.
In their 40s. So if I'm ever single again, I'll put in the chat. I'll let y'all know. we'll do a podcast about it.
Oh,
that'll be a random thought. Yeah, well, single again.
All right, Tell, what happened? What'd you do this time? CJ asked a great question. What if the ladies had showed up, seen the guys, and said, "Nah, I'm good"? Funny you should say that, because when the sisters from Temptation Island were on with Jesse Wu, they all said, "We got there and went, none of these guys are attractive. But we're here for that check. Let's
make that money." Right. Let's make that money. So, because they wouldn't, if they just walked away, there wouldn't be a show.
Right.
So there's a financial incentive for them to keep going.
So this is a great point. Before we move on, Lucy B, I think this is exactly probably what that James was looking for, right? A lady in the streets, a freak in the sheets.
Could be.
Which, I mean, let's be fair. Every man wants that.
True. But I just think he wants
just don't question how she learned those skills.
Well, when I think spice, I don't think it has to do with being in the bed.
Right.
I think it's just a little spice, a little attitude, something by the personality. Knowing if we're gonna be one-on-one, like it's a nice vibe compared to someone that's just a really nice, sweet, innocent girl.
Right. He doesn't want it to be like how he was when he first sat down across from Alicia on the back deck by the pool for dinner.
Nervous, drooling.
Daring headlights, drooling, just like, and I like the fact he got it together. He got it and had the conversations with Alicia. Because I thought this was about to be a bad date when he first went on that date with her. So he's had 2 good dates. He didn't like the first date with Bravon.
Right.
There was no lack of conversation there.
No, there wasn't. There's a lot to talk about and a lot for him to listen. She did a lot of talking. He did a lot of listening.
But I still think he was really just disrespectful when he had to deal with Bravado. That's and I'm not easing up on that. We ever get him on, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
And if we get her on, we might understand. Sean says, I really think James just wants to please his mother. Do you agree?
They have a really tight bond.
They do.
I think tighter than all the others.
Yes.
Right. And so I don't know if he just wants to please her, but she does play a very important role in his life.
I think it's a good balance with them because she's also taking him into consideration. Yep. She's just not going, no, you're going to do what I say because, you're right. They have a great relationship and you can see it. I really like seeing these two together because they're having these conversations. And you can tell Miss Charlize has a little wild side to her.
In her younger days.
She got a wild side. She's like, nope, why don't you do this a little bit? Why don't you do this a little? Let me know if you got this or this. The bikini wax or the Brazilian. Moving over to the house without the doorbell, we found out that Lexi told Tamerras about what her and Joshua were talking about, right? And about him saying he wasn't sold. Was that a smart move or not?
Bad move.
Why? Because Tamerras is now all in her head, so she could actually eliminate herself because her giving Joshua the cold shoulder is a bad look for her.
Right, but what Lexi has to understand is Tamerras is going to tell Josh. And once he finds out, now he knows I can't trust you because you're messy. I had a conversation with you and you took what I said and misconstrued it because it's not like he said, the date was whack. And then she went and told Tamerras, Josh said the date was whack. He didn't.
Right.
He was just trying to he can't be like, oh my God, it was the best date ever. And you still want to date Lexi. Right. That's how the game is played.
Yeah, exactly. There is that to consider. But This is also why this dynamic works, because there is going to be this kind of jealousy and, the overthinking running through the whole Lifetime movie in your head before that Baby Doll says Lexi's the conniving. Really? But it was a smart move, though, if you're trying to eliminate. I mean, think about, okay, and here's why I have to agree with what Baby Doll is saying here, because she says, okay, Chambriel, you get Tamerras, find out what happened on the date. I'll keep Joshua preoccupied.
Right.
Got a whole little mini date.
You can win the battle and still lose the war. If your goal is just to win and be the last girl standing, great. But if your goal is to be last girl standing and hopefully someone that you can be in a relationship with Josh, you're blowing it.
When they came up with the makeup free and told them about the Bear It All challenge, treat it like as a TikTok or IG challenge, the Bear It All challenge, hashtag Bear It All. The person not feeling it the most at first that we see is Chambriel. She's like, you know how long I was upstairs putting this on? You know how much I paid for this?
She didn't look that much different when she came down. So I don't think she had that much makeup on.
Lexi wasn't feeling it either. She was really pissed.
Yeah, but Lexi looks, you can see why she wears a lot of makeup.
Why?
No, I mean, just
she looks very much the same. Unlike Alicia,
she does.
She still looks the same with or without makeup. She just has a smoother skin with the makeup on.
Exactly. So she does look the same without the makeup, but you can just see what she was covering.
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah,
I mean, okay. The beauty tally. Joshua says, "Hey, as long as they don't get over $2,000, I'm like, hey, okay, that must be the NFL money talk right there."
Yeah, because I'm like $2,000.
Because the last house was the highest was $1,200. I'm like, these women better not, and then I'll be damned. Chambriel, now we know why she didn't want to take off that makeup. $1,850.
$1,815. That's a lot of money on self-care.
It is. It is. And to be honest, it's if Chambriel had just taken some of that money and bought the rest of the outfit.
And she just cut her budget down by $300. She could have had something else
to
add to that outfit.
Just get the rest of it. That's all we ask. Lexi came in like Bravon. She's like, look, I do everything on my own. Nobody believing her because Chambriel's like, oh, girl, you do all that? Here's where you hear some of that shade. Oh, you can do sew-ins and all that too. Okay, well, kudos to you.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the ladies in the chat, is it possible for someone to be able to do their own sew-ins, whatever that is, her own lashes, even waxes herself? Like, does any lady in this chat believe that?
I don't think that, because she said waxing her legs. She didn't say she gives herself a Brazilian.
She's not going to get it done. She's not going to get it done according to her. She does it all herself.
Cassie says, I'm a drugstore makeup gal myself. But all the hairstyles that she says she does, but here's what she didn't count. She didn't count because she said braids. Now, if you're talking braids and adding hair, then you didn't count that in. She said even extensions. You got to pay for those too, right? By the way, CJ says Lexi's on a budget for sure. Tasha in the desert says that's so much money, I just don't get it. Does stuff can include your housing? No, it doesn't include housing because there's a lot of money these people are putting up.
Yeah.
Baby Doll says it's possible for waxing and sew-ins. I just don't.
So yeah, I mean, if you can do your own braids, do your own sew-ins, I used to cut my own hair for years, but I love going to the barbershop because I hated trying to get the back. So I'm thinking if you're doing your own sew-in, how are you watching and being able to do? I don't know how that works, but it just, to me, it seemed unbelievable that somebody could do all that themselves. But if she does, more power to her.
YouTube channel member Tay says it can be done. I used to do my own sew-ins.
Okay, well, I stand corrected. Sorry, Lexi. My bad.
And Tyra says she might. If she has daughters, she probably did learn how to do the hair herself. So, yeah. So, it's possible. And hers wasn't $20. It was $240.
Right.
Not and she's like, yeah, it's this 120. That's twice a month. Yep, easy. All right. So there's that. Then we find out that Tamerras, she's got a lot because I stopped listening to what she had. It was a lot. It got up to $2,000 on the low end.
On the low end, $2,000.
Yeah, because she spends a bag.
How much is a bag? I asked Yanni that earlier. He was like, I said $2,000. He goes, a bag. I was like, well, how much is a bag? I was thinking there was some street slang that a bag is like $3,520 or something. I don't know. I was just like, what's a bag? Number. I thought it was a very specific number. So I was like, okay. So I learned something. So y'all know I'm not hip. I'm corny as hell, which I agree. Totally am.
I knew that comment would get to you. See, look at you. You couldn't leave it
didn't
alone,
get to me. I'm like, I know I'm corny. I know I am. I don't have swag. I have none of that shit. I'm just terrible. This is what you get.
Oh my God. CJ says, where's the list? Were you surprised when Joshua picked Lexi for the date?
No, I wasn't surprised.
Why?
Well, he had that conversation with her the previous night before she snitched. So he probably wanted to go out with her and see. I think he kissed Chambrielle. So he's like, well, let me get to know Lexi.
Yeah. So this spa date was not in the backyard. It didn't look like.
No, Josh has class. We're going out.
Hey, look, they told him at the start of this whole thing, doorbell or outdoor activities.
Yeah, you pay for it. You pay it for yourself then. Shoot, we ain't covering that.
They get to the spa date. Josh busts all over Lexi. Oh, my bad. Busts champagne. And he popped the champagne. I'm sorry. I think I wrote that wrong. My bad.
You got it in my face.
Hey, I like when he's doing this thing. He's like, yeah, because you know what? This is about to get a little spicy. Let me walk the hell off. I'm going to exit stage left. I'll be back. At
least I got to go. Let me get you a napkin.
He knew he was about to say something that was going to end up on the show.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, I'm not even going to do it. We're done. Let's move on. I like the conversation they had after this, though, because I thought it got deep in the sense of it wasn't just that superficial stuff, right?
Right. I agree. I thought it was good conversation. He said that I like that he told her that he picked her because it seemed like the whole vulnerable, take your makeup off. Mm-hmm. It was the most challenging for her.
Right.
And that's why he picked her. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, well, that's nice. It's not just because she's cute, but she is. But then I like how he asked her in 3 years, where do you see yourself? And I like her answer because to me, she gave very specific, like in improving my career and married. Mm-hmm. But married.
And very intentional. Like, I'm not out here just to be cutting up. She's been engaged twice. So it's not like, I want to be engaged in 3 years. No. Yeah, we didn't cross the finish line.
Right. She's looking for somebody to get her all the way there. And I like Josh's 3-year plan is, multiple houses, different states, different countries. That doesn't sound like settling down, getting married, though.
That sounds like, hey, but he is in his 20s. He's still in his 20s.
Yeah.
And then even when the thing came up about co-parenting, CJ says he kindly told her, I will not be the stepdaddy. Well, he didn't exactly say that.
He didn't say that. He said that in the confessional that he's not sure that. And
I didn't say that in the confessional. He said he's not sure he's ready. That's not saying that he's not going to do it. When
in doubt, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's going to pick her because of the kid thing. Yeah. And he's not ready for that. That's a big responsibility. And it's a lot, right? And I'm glad that she has a good co-parenting relationship with the kid's dad, but every girl I've ever dated that has kids also told me they had good co-parenting relationships. Yeah. And then on our date night, Friday night, she get a text and she's like, I can't believe he did, and just starts going off over this dude and they're arguing. And I got to listen to all that. So ruining my night. Like I came to have an old fashioned and a good steak. Now I got to listen to this crap.
And some dessert.
Yeah.
And now there's no dessert, but at least you still got the old fashioned.
Yeah, but like, so you seem mad, so it's not gonna be dessert night. Okay, but then I'm gonna order the wings. I'm gonna get fat and happy.
What you gonna have? So here's the thing though, because the fact that she has 2 kids was an issue from the very beginning. We saw this.
Right.
When she said that, his reaction said a lot, because like, crap, right? Because that's a lot to take on.
Yep.
Somebody else's kids is a lot to take on, but that's part of it, right? And we all thought that Omar was gonna eliminate her first because of that.
Right. We did, but the other girl came in a little too loud. And Omar was like, "No, you too much with all the fan and everything else. You just too much."
Right. We can deal with the kids. At least they're kids, but you got to go. So you're right, though. I do like the fact that they had the convo and bringing up the whole thing about the co-parenting and trying to understand and not just like glazing past it. But you're right. His plan for 3 years does not sound like let's settle down and build. Well, she's got a plan for all these other things and going.
Right.
The kids still got to go to school.
Right.
So, the thing CJ says hashtag somebody else's kids.
CJ's on fire today.
That's like one of my favorite Wanda Sykes stand-ups, man. They ain't my kids. Say what? They ain't my kids. It's an old one. Before she came out, I think she was still married at the time to a husband at that time. We get back in the house and we see Tamaris and Josh having a convo. I'm kind of glad they had this because her giving him the cold shoulder was not a good look.
Right.
I get it. She was in her feelings, but it wasn't a good look for her. And even as they're getting ready to have the convo, you can see there's some playful banter going on before they even sit down. So looks like it's going to be a good convo, right?
It is. I don't think she was mad at this point because she even had her arm on him. So she's calmed down because she was hot that morning.
Yeah.
But she's in a total different place. But I'm glad they had the conversation. And she told him that she felt that she looked like a clown because of what the audience was saying. In other words, Lexi and Chambrielle. She didn't quite call out Lexi, but I'm sure Josh is going to put two and two together and realize Lexi told her something different than what you actually told Lexi. So I'm glad, and I think he handled it well. He understood her feelings. He took all that in consideration. Also said, "Hey, here's what I'm going through too, and I'm trying to navigate through that, and I'm trying to do the best that I can." I thought it was a really great conversation.
Woe was me. I got 3 ladies trying to get me. My poor heart can't take it. However, if I schedule you at this time, you at this time, and you at this time, we'll figure it out. No, I thought it was a good conversation too. I think he did handle it well. He gave a good explanation. I think they came out of it in a better space. Like, here's why. Because they really made it seem, and this is how you kind of knew she wasn't leaving, that she was going to get up and get the hell on.
Yep.
And so good that they didn't, but it seems like we're starting to get some of that drama in here as we move forward in this series. We're 6 episodes in, and it feels like some of that drama is about to start happening.
Yep. It is. And can't wait to see what's going to happen because we haven't seen Katina in a while. So I want to see what's going on with Katina and Chad and his date that he does not want to be on.
I feel so bad. Man, I feel so bad for her having to go on that date with him. Because, yeah. Because she seems so happy in the previews. Did you see the previews for this one?
I did. I did see the previews. And I think what I've been saying about Lauren, I think that's going to come out. She's like, wait, you want someone who's going to be at the house and do the dishes and have a hot meal for you? I'm not the one.
Right. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting one. So, all right. We'll be along for the rest of the ride. Before we get out of here, a couple of things that showed up in the chat earlier. Jules Sorrell said, Oprah used to joke, people stated she was trying to be incognito when she was out without her makeup. Because some people look different without their makeup. Absolutely right.
Yeah, she was Oprah by day, Miss Sophia by night.
Kessie asks, do y'all think a gender bent version of this show is in the works?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Flip it. Smack it up, flip it, and reverse it.
Oh, to where it'll be 3 guys and like 1 girl in the house?
Somebody's daughter.
No. I doubt it because I think, I doubt it. I don't think that would be as fun.
Mm-hmm. Plus, they'll have to find people with the dads in their life, so.
Damn. Damn, Yanni.
It's been a while since we made one of those jokes. Jesus.
Oh, goodness.
Remember somebody was mad at us? I hate people always bringing up the stereotype. It's not that much of a stereotype if it's true.
Jesus, man.
Kessie says it's her birthday Saturday. Of course. Happy birthday, Kessie.
Yeah, happy birthday. Everybody, happy birthday to you. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday. No, just me.
Yeah. You don't want me to start singing. Everybody will log out immediately. Because I was just going to come back on the back end. All right, now you know what the next line is. How old are you now? I was like, doing that.
Wow.
Like, wait a minute. You're not supposed to ask a lady her age. Says who? It's 2025. We can. And see, look, the whole chat, love it. Everybody showing some love. Happy birthday, indeed. We appreciate you guys, man, because you're the reason why we do this. Kessie says, turning 23. Yes, I'm still celebrating my 21st birthday too.
No, I'm in my 50s. I'm embracing it. 50. Look good for 50.
See, that's great. Yes, you do. Kind of, sort of. Do us a favor, man. Please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Random thoughts tomorrow, right?
Yes.
For, members. Yeah, random thoughts tomorrow for members, and everyone else can catch it on Friday. Thank you very much for everybody who has supported the channel and becoming a member. We do appreciate you. We love you for that.
Yep.
It's less than $3 a month. So if you'd like to become a member, be one of the regulars. You can hit that join button. It's there on the front page, or it's actually down in the description for this video as well. I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm Just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us at Yanni Rude, at Just Terrell, and at the RGRT Pod.
Yeah, send us some of your random thoughts or some of the bullshit you find on the internet. We may talk about it on the show.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.